Knife watch. Today I'm going to be doing 5 things you didn't know about the Marathon Arctic White Quartz version of the GSAR. This is the amazing search and rescue edition in white from Marathon Watches. Canadian-based company with tons of military history, have served so many soldiers and people in armed forces around the world, and offered an amazing, amazing military grade watch that we can all enjoy. And this, I would say, is probably the first truly consumer edition from Marathon, because that white dial is typically not something you see for military watches. What you see for military watches, usually something like this, a field style watch that's, it may have more indices than this. Excuse me, it may have more like hour markers, like a 24-hour. You're going to get a very basic case back and a very basic case shape, typically not too big or small. Pretty conventional, right? And then you've got this Marathon, which has your obviously 24 hours. You've got those tritium tubes. Let's get into 5 things you didn't know about the Marathon Arctic GSAR. First thing you didn't know about this watch is this is the first white dialed watch from Marathon that actually hit the market in a big way. And this is a big deal because, as I mentioned, when you think about white-faced watches, they're typically more casual. They can be dressed up. They can also be more conventional when you're talking about just wearing as a casual watch, because that white dial is a little friendly, right? And this is not, friendliness isn't something you associate with soldiers typically, right? But to me, this white dial is so legible and so clean. They called it Arctic because it really is a white dial. And it is fairly busy, and I think that the white dial actually does ease up some of the legibility on this watch. It's most popular probably in the jumbo or the medium. Any of the sizes that come with this watch, they're typically in black, and that's great. But with this white dial, you're getting a Marathon that you don't see every day. Typically, it's you see your military watches in black face. So this is something that is going to really set you apart. And that leads us to the second thing, is this watch is busy, but it's about its business. Now, what I mean by busy is obviously you've got so many things going on. You've got this red second hand, right? You've got this, this radioactive symbol here because you've got actual tritium in these tritium tubes and radioactive material in the face of your watch. How cool is that? And you also have this H3, the Marathon logo, and the Marathon typeface logo. And you've got a date at 4:30. So when you talk about busy, yeah, this watch is that. But it's about its business because for some reason, it's still one of the easiest watches to read the time for right now. So it being 1:20, it's just so easy to take a look at. So I'm going to try and get it up close here so you guys can really see just the intricacy of those tritium tubes. And as you can see, you get a different color for the 12 o'clock, so you can actually tell the time at night. And the wonderful thing about this being about its business, even though it's busy, is at night and in low light settings, which is typically what will be happening for some military situations, you'll actually see that this is actually one of, or probably definitely, I wouldn't even say probably, it's definitely the best lume you'll see on any watch. I'll put this watch, this Marathon watch, up against any other brand's, low light legibility, because these tritium tubes pop all up in your face. You can read the time at any day or night. There's also tritium lume on and tubes on the actual hands of the watch. That's right. So you're never, ever going to be wondering what time it is in the middle of night. It's very clear and obvious what time it is. It's so easy to read. This pip at the top for 12 o'clock actually gives you a very convincing pop as well. So reading the time on this is amazing. Excellent bezel action. And the next thing you didn't know about the Marathon Arctic, other than this really great bezel action, let's get some sound on there. No backplay. Perfect alignment on all Marathons. The fourth thing you didn't know about the Marathon, this Marathon Arctic GSAR, is this bracelet is a challenge worth overcoming. What I mean by that is, let's take a look at this bracelet, okay? At first glance, you got a screw down bracelet. You got a clasp that appears to be stamped, but it's pretty good either way. It's very solid. It feels really secure. You can also get it very, very much so customized in that you can decorate it with multiple options. They have some on Amazon even. This is the United States Department of Defense. You can also get the US Marine Corps and a few other versions, like the Canadian Maple Leaf. Marathons are very, very customizable, and this bracelet is remarkably secure and I would say just awesome. It is a challenge worth overcoming because these screws are so crazy tight inside of this watch. So in order to actually disassemble this watch, you're actually going to need two different tools at the same time to, unscrew these locks. It's crazy the way that they did these screw down. They really should offer these tools and two of them with this watch bracelet, because on bracelet, I mean, this is a beautiful bracelet with amazing lighting and contrast between the brushed and polished surfaces. Even look at this clasp here. Let me see if I can get this up and close and personal for you. I mean, just look at the contrast there between the brushing and the decorated logo. The Marathon looks great, and it's a beautiful watch. And look at that 36 millimeter size. It's just fantastic on hand. Some people would say it's a little bit too small, but that'll be the fifth thing. Before I get to that, I just want to say it's worth overcoming, because once I did get the tools I needed to put this the way I needed it, oh man, I just couldn't take it off the bracelet. Now, you don't need to take it off the bracelet. I would actually recommend, if you don't want the headache of putting this bracelet together, I would actually recommend just getting it on the strap. It comes with a beautifully vanilla scented bracelet in black that actually is terrific as well. It's marvelous because it smells good, but also because it's extremely comfortable, and it's fitted in a way that you don't actually see any of the holes in the strap. And so definitely check out this watch if you're interested. It just looks great. Kind of reminds me of a smaller version of a Zen 104 in white that I also have. And that leads us to the fifth thing that you didn't know about this Marathon Arctic White GSAR, is this redefines what 36 meters is in a watch. Now, what I mean by that, I'll try to grab another 36 millimeter watch for you right now. Oh, give me a second. Okay, take a look at this watch. La-di-da-di-da. La-di-da-di-da. It's beautiful. Should have had this ready for you guys. Sorry. Okay, boom. Pow. Okay, so what I want to say here is that, yeah, all these watches here are 36 millimeters in width, with these two ones that I'm bringing to the video. These both have 20 millimeter strap width. And this Marathon has an 18 millimeter strap width. Okay, let's take a look at these, all right? Now, at first glance, these are all the same size. They've got fairly similar lug to lug. With, I think the Laurier is clearly the tallest in terms of lug to lug. The Smiths has got that real sweet spot. And the Marathon, let's turn these side to side, okay? Let's make sure we don't cut the knives or knife watch. That would make a great video, by the way, just cutting watches in half with knives. Look at the thickness of this Marathon. I mean, it is a thick boy, but boy, does it look great. It actually creates wrist presence. So if you're nervous about 36 millimeter watches, if you're thinking about the Smiths Everest, a lot of people on my channel ask me about this. A lot of people. This is probably the most commented about watch that I've ever reviewed on this channel. And a lot of people are interested in the Laurier Falcon 2. Is it too small? Is it too diminutive? If you're curious about 36 millimeters, but you're more comfortable with watches that are larger, even 39 with the Tudor Black Bay 58, or the popular SKX with 43 millimeters, right? Take a look at the Marathon, right? For less than $1,000, less than 500, if you get a great deal, you can actually check this out. Because it has that thick height and this very, very strong, beautiful bezel that actually kind of looks like it's almost got this kind of like factory just toughness, just OEM toughness to it. out of box, you're gonna feel like this is a very masculine and tough military watch. It makes turning the bezel so easy and fun and secure. This is actually one of my favorite bezels, bar none. Try this out because this will actually open your eyes to 36 millimeters. It did for me. The first time I put it on, I thought, huh, that's pretty small. But after 5 minutes, I was like, wait, this doesn't feel small at all. It actually feels very, very big. It feels like when you've got it at different angles, when you're doing the dishes or whatever the case may be, you actually feel very excited about having this on. And obviously with marathon watches, you're getting strong, depth rating. We've got 300 meters of water resistance on this. So I'm not worried about this watch at all. On the case back here, just wanted to give you guys a shot here. I mean, 36 millimeter dive watch with 300 meters of water resistance. You've got thickness, so it's modular. This could work in a lot of different settings. I wouldn't wear this to a ball or a gala or a wedding if I didn't have to, but because of its classic size and proportions, it actually would fit. It actually looks pretty sharp, especially with this bracelet. But I would definitely wear this when you're playing games, like playing soccer with my kids. And it's definitely something that I wouldn't mind going to a picnic or getting my hands dirty with while I'm wearing it. And definitely a competitive watch when you're talking about other 36 millimeter dive watches. You've got an amazing screw down crown here that is very secure. So anyway, I've given you probably 10 things you didn't know about the Marathon Arctic GSAR. But if you didn't know, you can also get it not only in quartz, but in automatic. Check out one of them. You won't regret it. This has been one of my favorite watches, probably my favorite quartz watch in my collection. And I've got about a dozen quartz watches. This is definitely my favorite quartz watch. I forget it's quartz because it's so modular, classy, looks great. Love the pop of red in the seconds hand. And I wore this for about 3 weeks straight, which is very hard for a quartz watch in somebody's collection like mine. But because it's Swiss made, because it's got so much history in that Marathon name, and because it just looks so damn good, it looks brand new all the time. I've just enjoyed this more than any other quartz watch. So if you're in the market, you can get it automatic, you can get it quartz, you can try out 36 millimeters if you're not sure, but this is an amazing timepiece. I've been Knife Watch. Peace and love.